Boomer mom scammed out of all her money, now expects kids to bail her out. My 68-year-old mother is a hot commodity. She has been talking to George Strait, Mark Harmon, Taylor Kinney, Toby Keith, and Jason Momoa for over a year now. They all found her on Facebook via various fan pages she liked, and they all have decided she is the love of their lives. Taylor was her first choice, George the second. She decided Toby and Mark were best as just friends. Jason overplayed his hand by asking for an Apple gift card too early, and she told him she wasn't falling for that. She has sent these men thousands of dollars for various stupid reasons. Why does a TV star need you to buy him a cell phone? I don't have an exact amount because she can't keep her story straight. For the first time ever, I'm glad she's not a millionaire because it would be in the millions by now, but she's on a fixed income so it's probably not in the 6-digit range. My brother and I found out about all of this in November when her best friend reached out to me. She'd been watching it unfold for a while and finally decided I needed to know. Supposedly one of these men flew here on their private plane and spent the weekend with her, so shit is getting deep if she's allowing lying randos from the internet into her home. We staged an intervention but she argued. We proved the numbers she'd been texting were registered to an elderly lady in New Mexico but she didn't care. We deleted apps and blocked messages, she undid all of it as soon as we left the room. She was smarter than us, and we were just jealous of her happiness. We told her she would wind up homeless or unalived. Turns out, you can't stop a grown adult from giving their money away without a court injunction. The courts here don't like handing those out without some sort of medical reason. An appointment with a neurologist takes months to materialize. And DHR will visit if there's an anonymous complaint, but can determine she's not a threat to herself if she's dressed appropriately when they show up. She received a $10,000 check last weekend from one of her famous boyfriends, partial repayment for some of what she sent them. She deposited it and immediately started writing checks, utility bills and insurance policies. All of them are now bouncing. Her fourth new debit card since Christmas has been stolen before she can even leave the house with it. She texted my brother yesterday and told him she needed money. Got livid when he said he'd pay the bills but not give her cash, said she'd drive her car off a bridge if things got worse, then she refused to answer when he called. I call her and she picks up immediately, tells me I'm being dramatic and she'd never actually do that. After several hours of phone calls yesterday and today, we learned the bank was set to serve her with foreclosure paperwork tomorrow morning. We caught up the 3 months of mortgage payments to halt those proceedings. There's about $800 worth of utility bills she attempted to pay some of with a check that will bounce. We are taking care of those. All told, we'll be $5,000 deep just in necessities coming due this week. Who knows what fresh hell next week will bring? I suggest, have the discussion with your parents now. Scammers are getting smarter every day, and lonely old women aren't the only ones falling victim. Get your parents to add you on important accounts, even if just as an emergency contact. Talk with them about having a power of attorney so you can step in and make sure they're still covered if they are unwell. We spent so much time just trying to get these debtors to talk to us, pleading with them to take our money so our mom wouldn't be homeless. A few told us no because we weren't on the accounts. On the bright side, she now believes these people were actually scammers and not famous rich dudes. Except she is adamant that she was talking to the real Toby Keith. He may be faking his death to escape his wife so they can run away together. But that is a problem for tomorrow's me because I just don't have the bandwidth to process it tonight. Update. Really enraged crazy mother tonight, now she's going to give my SS number and address to scammers. My mother has been losing her mind for a while now. She has several internet boyfriends she met on Facebook, all of them famous men and all of them needing money. She has spent thousands in cash deposits, prepaid Visa gift cards, Bitcoin ATM transfers, bought plane tickets, sent them pictures of her Wells Fargo bank statements. You name a scam and she has fallen for it. I've seen the messages with my own eyes. She recently called my brother and admitted she was broke and told, not asked, told him he needed to fix it. She received a fake $10,000 check from one of these people and deposited it into her bank account, and started writing her own checks to pay her bills. All of these checks have now bounced. I am trying to catch them and make them right so she doesn't get fraud charges on top of being broke. Her utilities were turned off this week, I fixed it. She was so far behind on her mortgage that they were going to serve her with foreclosure paperwork last Friday. My brother paid the amount due to stop that process. She literally has $100,000 plus in credit card debt, and has been trying to save the money for a bankruptcy attorney. I told her I would front the retainer. This has all happened in only the last 8 days. We're $5,000 deep in stopping the bleeding, and who know what is still coming. We made her sign power of attorney over to us on Monday as a contingency for our help. She also signed a petition for voluntary conservatorship that will have to go in front of a judge. She swore to us she was done talking to these men. I personally took her phone and deleted the app she uses to talk to them and the hundreds of different numbers they have been using to text her from. Blocked everything I could. She swore again she's cut all contact and would not have anything else to do with them. Last night, she accidentally texted my brother from one of the apps I positively know I deleted. So my brother and I decided she clearly can't be trusted and doesn't need a phone with apps or internet capability. She's like a damn math head and we have to blow up the double wide that houses her math lab. So I bought her a Jitterbug flip phone, only thing I could get my hands on and activated today, activated it, charged it, and preloaded it with all of the contacts I can think of that she'll need for the next few days. Doctors, friends, both of her children. I took it over to her house, grabbed her iPhone and put it in my purse, and then I pulled out the Jitterbug and told her this was her new phone for right now. She flipped her wig. Demanded I give it back to her. I don't have the authority to take it away from her, and said she needs that phone. Then she freely admitted she's been texting at least one of the men, the leader of the pack. Of course she re-downloaded those apps. She's in love with him and said the heart wants what it wants. I told her she'll just have to keep wanting, she's not getting her phone back. She moved to lock the door so I couldn't leave. I beat her to it and ran out to my car. Pulled off with her standing in the driveway screaming at me. I stopped at the gas station just down from her house to sit for a second because my hands were shaking. Evidently, this gave her enough time to get past me because she beat me back to my house. My husband let her inside and made my daughter go back upstairs so she wasn't actively watching this go down. I get home and she meets me in my garage, said I want my phone back, just over and over. I kept telling her no, and she needed to leave. She refused to leave without her phone. I said I would call the police, my daughter is here and she's being erratic and she needs to leave. Finally, my husband convinced her we needed to go outside for this conversation so my daughter couldn't hear it. We go out on the front porch and this woman spit straight up venom at me, for 15 solid minutes. I'm the greatest disappointment of her life. She wishes I was never born. She should have let my abusive ex-husband beat me to death instead of loaning me the retainer for my divorce attorney in 2017 because that's why she's broke. You name it, she said it. She even threatened to beat me senseless with her cane. I just kept telling her I was sorry she feels that way and I'm not giving it back so she should leave. She finally said that she's going to make sure she gives my information to all these scammers I'm so worried about, my social security number and my address so they can show up at my house and tell me how they really feel. And she is not responsible for whatever happens next. And then she finally left. I came inside and literally sobbed on the bathroom floor. Have been for a couple of hours now. What kind of mother tells their kid she wishes their abusive ex had succeeded in beating them to death? What kind of grandparent threatens to give out the address to the home her grandkid lives in? I have long been suspecting some early onset dementia, and we literally had a neurologist appointment tomorrow after waiting 3 months for it. That's the thread I've been holding on to. This isn't my mother, this is the disease that's been eating her brain. She said she's not going now. I wonder if she'll still show up for the bankruptcy attorney appointment she has tomorrow that I'm supposed to be fronting. She was absolutely like an unhinged raving addict. She said, just give it back for tonight, and I'll give it to you in the morning. She told me she has one of his 176 numbers memorized and will just call him as soon as she gets home. She wasn't bluffing, she did add a new contact with his name, but I deleted it from the parental control app already tonight. She also said she hopes this new phone has long distance because she will stay up all night calling China so my bill is high. I'm ready to just hand her back the damn phone and tell her to go jump. You won't get another penny from me so don't call me or mine for another damn thing as long as you live. When these bad checks keep bouncing and they come after you with charges, I don't care. When your utilities get turned off again, sit there in the dark and use your love for this fake-ass internet boyfriend to keep you alive. And when your house goes into foreclosure again, I will wave at you and your little shopping cart full of crap when I drive by you on the street. I'm just so done right now. So done. Final update. Mom got scammed again and now I'm done. My 68-year-old mother is losing her mind, has been for a while now. We knew she had been conversing with several people online for over a year, most of which claimed to be famous men and all of which needed money for various things. We had been telling her since December that she was being scammed, tried involving DHR and the agency who helps protect seniors, all falling on deaf ears. Courts won't do anything without a medical diagnosis, neurologist appointments take months so we're just stuck trying to keep her from self-destructing until then. End of February she finally admits she needs help. Actually, she called my brother and said she was broke and he needed to fix it, but we'll say that was asking for help. Per the bank, her home was a few hours from going into foreclosure on the day we got the call from her, and her utilities were turned off the very next week. She has over $100,000 in credit card debt, most of it from sending these men pictures of every single credit card she has. She also gave them all of her bank account information and sent at least $30,000 in cash via Bitcoin ATMs or prepaid gift cards. I'm not sure I'll ever know exactly what she has spent on them, but I do know she owes $7,000 in taxes this year from all the withdrawals she made to her retirement, which she freely admits she sent to these men. She also still swears every one of them are actually all the celebrities they claim to be, and still truly believes one of them is the love of her life. My brother and I told her the only way we'd help is if she gave us power of attorney, which she did. We then caught up her house payments, and reconnected the utilities. I have been going through her bills as I pay all of them and trying to help her budget, including finding her cheaper internet, TV and cell phone plans so she'll be able to pay her own bills going forward on her fixed income. She has been beyond nasty to me every step of the way, telling me what a disappointment I am and she wishes I was never born. There have been self-delete threats, to which she laughed in my face and told the police she would never do anything that dramatic. She calls me almost daily and tells me she fell, only for myself, or the ambulance to rush over and have her admit she wasn't actually hurt but was hoping a trip to the ER would get her pain meds. I took her phone, created a new Apple ID and had it set so she couldn't text or call anyone not saved in her contacts, and she can't add people or numbers or apps without my approval. Only thing short of changing her number I could do to stop her contact with these scammers, she adamantly refused to change the number because she's had that one for 30 plus years. But she has still been getting hundreds of texts from 6-digit numbers, I'm guessing because she responded to them in the past so they were able to get around the block. I have told her 1,000 times not to even open them, delete them or send them to junk. She had hip replacement surgery this past week. While in the hospital, she received a text telling her she won a free oxygen machine, call this number to claim your prize. She texts me and tells me she needs to add this number to her phone because it's a home health medical equipment company and she wants to talk to them about Life Alert, so I add their number. She calls and they tell her she just needs to give them her bank account information to cover the shipping, and she gives it to them. Then she calls to crow about her winnings. I call the same number, and what do you know, I'm also an instant winner if I will just give them my bank account information. Hit 0 to speak with a person, and now I've won a free year of DirecTV. Hit 0 again, and now I've won a free year of pest control from Terminix, if I just enter my bank account information. So a total scam that my mother has again fallen for while laying in her hospital bed recovering from surgery. Like the last 2 months didn't happen, like she has learned nothing from this whole experience. She does not even need an oxygen machine, but decided that since her parents had breathing issues at the end of their lives and because it was free, this opportunity was too good to pass up in case she needs one later. She tells me to just call them back and cancel. Because I'm sure the kind phone scammers will totally forget your bank account if I just ask nicely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, she has been showing signs of progressive dementia and is at moderate or moderately severe cognitive decline on the staging models. So I get it, this is the new normal for her. She no longer possesses the mental capacity to understand real from fake, and she will continue to fall for stuff like this as long as she's alive. And I can't do anything to stop it. I can just crawl along behind her and try to fix it while hoping she shows up to the neuro in May so I can get the courts to intervene. She will always be a danger to herself and her own well-being, with the added bonus of being awful to me every step of the way. So I have decided I am done trying to save her from herself. I'm opening another new bank account for her tomorrow and putting what little money she still has in it. I have turned off all the automatic payments that have been coming out of my account, and will be turning off all of the parental controls I had established on her electronics. Then I'm telling her good luck, don't call me when you're on fire again. And then I'm blocking her on my phone. My brother and I believe she'll be in a mess again by the 4th of July. Her problem, not ours. I have had a heart issue for 2 years now, inappropriate sinus tachycardia that isn't responding to medications. Both of my cardiologists have told me that stress is exacerbating my condition. I've lost 25 pounds over the last 3 months, which I'm also chalking up to stress. I literally cannot explain the peace I feel in my soul tonight, knowing that I have done everything I could for this woman, and now I just get to be done tomorrow. It's complicated and sad and frustrating because I know how I have tried to help her and I know how this will end. But it's also so very calming to know that I'm done. I'm free.